But I wanted to share with you in that context the story, some stories here from one of my students. Her name is Julie. Um, and you may have heard her talk about this stuff on some of my YouTube videos and so forth. You should subscribe to my YouTube channel, by the way, if you haven't already. There's 200 videos there, 200 free videos on my YouTube channel. But Julie, I taught Julie to meditate about, I can't remember, 3 or 4 years ago or something like that. And Julie, her eldest daughter's name is Julianne, died in 2002 when she was 25 years old. So that's what, 23 years ago. So she would be 48 now if she was still alive, Julianne. So these ages are material to the story. So her eldest daughter was in the U.S. Army, tragically died in an environmental accident in the U.S. Army. 6 or 8 soldiers died in that accident. Okay. Julianne was one of them. So Julie is the mother. Julianne is the daughter. Okay. So Julie's telling me these stories, of course, right now. So, so Julianne died in 2002, age 25, in this accident. And Julianne had a sister, a much, I'm going to mute you, Joey. Julianne had a much younger sister named Lucy. Okay. Now, Lucy now, who's in her late 30s, I think. So I think she was 10 years older, 10 years younger than her older sister who died. So Lucy, I think, is in her late 30s now. She has a 3-year-old, 2 to 3-year-old daughter, and a 7-year-old son. Okay? You follow this? So you get the mother, you get the daughter who died, and a daughter who lived. And that daughter, that younger sister of the daughter of the girl who died, has 2 children now. Okay, those are the important players in this story here. So what they have realized, and I have helped the mother or the grandmother, depending on how you want to look at her, Julie, I've helped coach her through this, and I've helped her communicate with her children and her grandchildren about this. She now realizes that Julianne, her daughter who died 23 years ago, is the 2-year-old grandchild now. Follow that? So it's it's her granddaughter. It's her younger daughter who was just a teenager or younger. Maybe she was 12 years old when her sister died. Lucy was around 12 years old when Julianne died in the Army. And Lucy, who's now in her late 30s, has a 2-year-old daughter named Susan, who is reincarnated as Julianne. And the reason that this is, I have so many stories. I'm just going to tell you a couple of them, so that so Susan, who is the reincarnation of the dead daughter who is the U.S. Army officer, Julianne, remembers all kinds of stuff of Julianne's life. She's 2 years old. So she's telling her grandmother and her mother now, and her older brother, who's 7 years old, stories from Julianne's life. And things like, she said, Julie, the grandmother, texts me stuff, and she said, just now this happened. Sally, oh, and Susan, they call her Sally as a nickname. So her name is Susan, the 2-year-old, but her nickname is Sally. So Sally said, Nana. Nana is what they call grandmother in her family. Okay. Nana, you are mommy's mommy, right? Yes, sweet girl, I'm mommy's mommy. Did you know you are my mommy too? So can I call you mommy? Can I call you mommy? Nana is your mommy, and my mommy, okay? This is the 2-year-old saying this, okay? This is a Christian family, all right? This is not a Hindu family or something, right? These are Caucasian Christian people in the United States, all right? And she said, of course. Um, so another time, the grandmother sent me another message saying that her mother, so the grandmother's mother, died from West Nile virus from a mosquito bite. When Julianne, who's the U.S. Army officer who died, right, 20 in 2000, whatever I said, 25 years ago, 23, 4, 5 years ago, Julianne was 3.5 years old when that would have been Julianne's grandmother, right? So Julie's mother died. So Julianne's grandmother, Julianne was 3.5. Julianne's the one who's dead, right? Tonight, Sally, who is the reincarnation now of Julianne, tonight Sally was very upset before bed when Lucy, Sally's mother, asked her why. She responded, "My doll got a mosquito bite outside when we were planting flowers yesterday." So, and then Julie's telling me that her mother got a mosquito bite when she was planting flowers at the cemetery at her parents' grave. That's when she got bit by a mosquito and died of West Nile virus. Okay. So how does this 2-year-old know all these details, right? Because she's Julianne and she knew this from when she was a child. So she says, "My doll got a mosquito bite outside when we were planting flowers yesterday. The doctor said she is very sick and will not get well and die." So Julianne is reincarnated as Sally, and Sally's telling stories from Julianne's life. You follow that? Pretty crazy, right? And then today, Julie sent me this one this morning. Sally said, "Nana, I am your teacher today. What are your names besides Nana?" "Mommy and Mama." This is Sally, the 2-year-old, saying this to her grandmother, okay? "What are your names besides Nana?" "Mommy and Mama." Momma. That's what Julianne called her mother. "Does my mommy have 2 sisters?" "Yes." "They are in that picture on the wall, right?" This is Sally, the 2-year-old, saying this. "Yes." "I know Aunt Megan, and I know Julianne died, but she is in heaven." "That is okay, Nana. Now I will call you Mama." That's what Julianne called her mother, Mama, Momma. So Julianne, Sally knows that her soul, Julianne, went to heaven and died. But she's now Sally, the 2-year-old. Any questions, comments on that? Did you follow that? How does this 2-year-old know so much about the dead sister or daughter, depending on which way you want to look at it, Julie's dead daughter, who was the U.S. Army officer? Hard to explain otherwise, right? When she has not been told any of those stories about names and grandmothers dying of West Nile virus from a mosquito bite, planting flowers. Interesting, right? So those things have just opened up for Julie. And I say this to some of you because I know some of you are learning to meditate, not for anxiety reasons, but because you want to connect with dead loved ones. And does this technique that I'm teaching you guys increase the likelihood of that happening? Yes. And why does it increase the likelihood? Because It's expanding your conscious capacity because of the 100 million room castle analogy that John was just telling us about, right? That's why. We expand our conscious capacity of our mind. We turn more light switches on in that 100 million room castle that is our mind. And when we can connect more with the universe that exists and that most people don't even know exists.